Well, would you look at that? It's almost like I have clairvoyance and can see what events are coming out next. What we have coming up is the Evocation Festival Part 2, which I'm only now noticing they're calling Pilgrimage Festival on the NA side of things. Don't hate it, but I'm too used to calling it Evocation. But this is going to be another really solid campaign if you're just trying to get some free-to-play characters, get your Saint Quartz up, because you get some missions for doing these guys. There's a login bonus as well. And these characters aren't the craziest, but they're also not half bad. I would say if you have more of a developed account, just pick these guys up, level them up, get those rewards done, make sure you put them in your party and use them in some quests so that way you can finish out some of those missions that are going to be coming along for this. But if you are a newer player, these guys can actually serve you pretty well. Let me see if we can't scroll down to where they're going to say that they get buffs, because I want to kind of show that. Yeah, here we go. So they're all getting buffs, aside from Idol Altar, which is really strange, because I'm not going to say that she could use it the most, but she could really use a buff, right? You can't really use her for a lot of things. Quick looping is very hard for her to do. She has a power mod against, like, mechanical enemies, which is interesting, but, you know, we'd probably rather have something a little bit better. But, again, still, you know, getting, like, a free-to-play foreigner is never going to be bad. You know, if you don't have one, just getting one into your arsenal, I think, is already going to be useful enough as is. But you're probably going to replace her with the first foreigner you get, whether that be a Yang, whether that be someone as simple as Miss Pancakes Abigail over there, or even, I don't even know, Hokusai even, right? You're probably going to sub them out for someone that's just doing, I guess, a bit more for your team. Although, she will be able to hit hard. I can't say that someone's just going to be doing a little bit more damage, because this is a free NP5 character. But bottom line, just to kind of run through this, this is a really good buff for Liz. Basically, she removes a buff from all of the enemies, and if she removes a buff from them, she gives them a Happy Halloween buff, and then if she gives them the Happy Halloween buff, she gets some NP charge, right? So, like, it's pretty good. You can kind of think of her in the way of, like, Lady Avalon, in a way, where she's going to pop this skill. If it removes a buff, bam, she's getting extra NP. So that's really good for her. She also can do Buster Looping for you. Unfortunately, we already have Casterku available for all players, and if you have Black Grail, he's probably just going to be the better option to go with. But if you only have, like, NP1 Casterku and you have, like, no Black Grail, then I guess she could be a solid option for you. She is a free NP5, so her damage isn't the worst, I suppose. But yeah, that's interesting. Brave Liz over here is doing more damage, I suppose. They did already fix her third skill to where it only takes 50% of her battery instead of 100. If you are a newer player, there was a dark time where not only was the skill RNG, but it took 100% of your battery. So if you wanted to try to fire it to get, like, additional, like, buster damage or to gain the additional attack buff or whatever, you would have to sacrifice your NP or just get up to 200% NP, which was not exactly easy to do early on in the day. So that way you could get 100% of it gone, and then you'd still have 100%. But now you only need to get up to 150%, which is, again, not the easiest thing to do, but it's more manageable because, you know, free-to-play NP5, you can go up to 300% NP if you're trying to, like, overclock her or whatever, trying to use the third skill. She can be decent as a DPS if you don't have anybody better. You know, she can hit decently hard, so I wouldn't write her off completely. Nobu's kind of interesting because Nobu provides, like, a couple of different buffs to the party. Namely, it's this new Buster and NP strength that everybody gets on top of the NP gain, while also having the Writing and Anti-Divinity power mods on, I believe it's her second skill in NP, or where her power mods are located. So she can actually be pretty good. There are, like, specific enemies that Nobu just really just destroys into the ground. People like Raiko that have the Writing passive and do have Divinity. So characters like that, Nobu might actually be really useful against if you're still trying to clear them. It's not like it pops up the most frequently, but Writing and Divinity are two decent power mods to have. You're not really going to be using her for farming because she doesn't really have a battery, but she can kind of fit into some farming team comps if you're really down bad. Something like a, for instance, just like a K-scope on her, and then, you know, you do her append skill because, you know, you can get all of her append coins for free just for logging in during this event. And, you know, you get all that so she can auto-fire her NP, and then she's giving additional buffs to the other servant that's going to be your primary DPS, and that primary DPS only has to go through 2 nodes, right? Like, just off the top of my head, you're like, oh, I could use Nobu in, you know, position 1, she fires all of her stuff, takes out the first enemy wave, and then I have Archetype Earth take out wave 2, and then she gets 100% of her NP back, and she takes out wave 3. Not exactly super optimal, but that's just kind of like a just off-the-cuff way that you could use her, right? So not bad. Then also you have all the missions that come with this. They're essentially just log in, use the characters, you know, like level them up a little bit. You don't even have to fully level them up. So you only have to get them to level 40. But you still want to fully level them up because then you can get the pure prisms, which can then get you materials for characters you actually want to level. We're also getting this banner over here. I kind of already did a little bit of a breakdown on this, but it's fine, right? Like, obviously, you would rather go summon for the newer characters that are coming out. Because these guys aren't bad. Okita's like a fine burst, quick DPS character. Like, she's really fun to use, very simple, very effective. Refunds like an absolute madman. Can do some pretty neat crits, and her damage on her NP can be pretty good on the turns where you have her quick up. Vlad over here, solid arts DPS, probably like the standard for what you just want an arts DPS to do. He's stealing charge, he's providing stars on his NP, he does pretty decent damage, he's a Zerg, so he's pretty good everywhere. He has his own little battery, and then just gives himself solid attack and defensive buffs while also having 2 guts. The second guts only lasts for a turn, but hey, sometimes it comes up. He's a berserker, he's going to get melted by everybody, so at least having that is fine. And then MHX over here is an okay serve, and I think now that people have been using more and more characters and are okay bringing characters type neutral into fights, if their power mod is good enough, does mean that people are kind of coming around a little bit to MHX. When she initially came out, people were like, why isn't this character an archer? And it's like, bro, relax, bro, relax. It's okay to bring people type neutral, because she still did really good damage, but now they fixed up all of her skills. Not the craziest character, but, you know, if you're trying to collect all of the Saber faces, this banner's not terrible, because she's okay, and then MHXX over here is a huge burst damage character. She does ludicrous amounts of damage, but again, all of her things are 1-turn buff, so have to weigh that out a little bit. But if you use her on like certain fights like Cernunos or like the ORT fights, you can see that she can just chunk people into oblivion, so sometimes it just doesn't really matter. But all of these banners are okay, but realistically, we have Ordeal Call coming up. I did a video talking about all of the Ordeal Call servants. I would just say the quality that you have on those banners is just higher than these. Durian Donna can basically be a free, well, not free to play, but, you know, low rarity option if you need an arts AoE farmer, because he's a berserker, and he loops okay enough. He can do black rail farming, so he's fine on those departments. You have Bhima, who just does really, really big damage as a Lancer. He has the Arash Overcharge, so essentially, if you can get him to Overcharge 2 or higher, he gets free power mod against anybody, and just has a really strong kit for, you know, just taking down bosses. He's got survivability, he can remove debuffs, he can just hit really hard, he stacks crit damage like an absolute madman, so he's just probably like a really solid option if you're going to be needing a boss killer. And then you have Durga, who I am really high on. I think Durga is really, really sick. She can be your arts farmer. She gives the entire party like the overcharge level, which is really, really good in arts. Tamamo's overcharge is giving more battery. Lady Avalon is giving more stars. Castoria, everybody knows, is more hits of solemn defense. Stuff is like really, really, really nutty broken. So like I would just say skip out on this banner, go on the Ordeal Call banners if you really need to summon, or just wait for summer / the anniversary, because those characters are bonkers. Those characters are nuts. So yeah, realistically, don't need to summon on these banners unless you really, really like the characters. Realistically, it's just do the missions, make sure you get your Saint Quartz, make sure you level these guys up to get your Pure Prisms, so whenever you do, I don't know, get the anniversary character, you know, Summer Morgan, and you need more of those bells from Lost Belt 6, you can just pick up at least 100 of those to make your life a little bit more easier. So stacking up those Pure Prisms is always good. But with all that being said, let me know in the comment section down below if anybody is excited for these characters. I pretty much have all these guys on NA. I'll probably do individual videos just going over them to go into like more detail and show off what they can actually do. Save things for like Nobu, I'm pretty interested in doing. Maybe she'll be the first one. So we'll see about that. But yeah, let me know if you're interested in any of these characters, if you're going to be grailing any of them. A like on the video and a subscribe to the channel is always appreciated, as I'll be putting these videos out every single day. But with all that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys have yourselves a nice one, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace. Late, guys.